In this session, we are going to create a class file converter. This file converter should have a constructor that accepts a string file name, and this file name later will be used as the class's instance field. It should store file name as its attribute or instance field. And the class should have the following methods: create uppercase file and create a row chart count file. Both tasks we have done before when we were using a regular main method. Now that what we want to do is to package this into methods so that you can you can release this code into some other module like file converter.java. So for example, create an uppercase file. It should accept a target file name, while the stored file name in class is the source file name. So the method will open up both files. Then it will convert all lines in the source file to uppercase and write it line by line to our target file. Similarly, we will have the create row chart count file method. The class must come with a main method which will create an object instance and generate two target files, one all uppercase and another row chart count. So let's see writing a class step by step. The first two steps: create project class framework and create main method. I've already done this. Given that we are already like 1/3, almost a half into the class in the course, you should be able to create this right now. And we do not have any static field or static method, so we will add an instance field, which apparently is called, it's a string called source file name. Right, then we add a constructor. It should have one constructor based on the question statement. File converter name. Now we have the Java doc comment. All right, then it asked me to add setter, getter, and note that in our question, we didn't specify, we didn't ask for a mutator, but we asked for accessor. So we will have a get file name, accessor. It's called a source file name. Which will return source file name. And with appropriate Java doc. Then we will add business logic, which is public. What was the name we are supposed to use? I'm going to do this create uppercase file. And this apparently has a string of target, string parameter of target file name. Oh, I forgot that it should be a void. So now we are ready to create this, as well as, let me set up the, oops, I deleted it instead. Okay, now I undo my deletion, and now I should have a create a row chart count file. So the whole framework is ready. All I need, and the instantiating part, initialization part, and constructor and gather are ready. I'm going to fill in the requirement, the detail of business logic. And let me try to find where do we have the file read and write demo, right? And actually, I think I should go to, because we have this create uppercase file in one of our homework. Let me try to find that. So I found the create uppercase. Oh, actually, I found the row chart count in this session 3 sample question file read write. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this, but copy this statement, copy these statements into this code. But there are two things to note. First of all, usually in the method, in the object class method, we do not have input and output, system input and output. Usually this system input and system output should go into the application side. Your object, thinking about the reuse, how to reuse your code, your object should not directly interact with the user. It should be the application that calls your object to interact with the user. For this reason, objects should usually should not be using system in or system out. You can use file because this is like a one-time processing, quick processing, but you should not use system out, system in the method. All this system in and out should be in main method, right? So now let's go get, so instead of getting you input, all this should come from either the class source file name or the parameter. But let me copy this here first. And now you can see that the standard input should be the source file, the class source file, right? And we do not need the keyboard input. We have the source file name, which is the class instance field. And we will open up this file. And in addition, we do not need to get the input for the target file name. Instead, we will get target file name from the input. Oops, I think it's here. This is the output file name, right? Oops, what did I do? Open the output file, okay. And now we have issues. What's the issue? It says unhandled exception, file not found. And here, unhandled exception too. This is actually the same error. File not found. For this reason, we need to throw the exception. And we get another error. Why? Because apparently we never imported, right? So now this works. It will get a new file object based on source, and it will get an output to target file name. So they will start reading this input file, and line by line get the input file length, and then output this to the output file. Okay, so this is how we do create a row count file. Similarly, I'm going to copy, we can do the same processing for this create uppercase file. I'm going to copy the create row chart count files code into this create uppercase files code. The only difference we want to make is here. What's the print should be look like? convert to uppercase, right? Then we will output. So this will be input line dot upper to uppercase. And again, we have this error, same error as before. And the simple reason is because we are not throwing this file not found exception. And because we already import this last time, so this time, once we add the throws, there's no exception. Then that's how we create a file converter. Now, one thing you can note that we are copying code from one method to another, which means this code of this method is almost identical to the code of this method. The only difference is here. What is printing out, right? The only, so it will make you wonder, is that possible just to reuse majority of this code? Do we need to have everything here and repeat it here? And if we have more, like create lowercase, we will repeat it again? The answer is yes. There are multiple ways of doing that. And we will cover this in our future lecture.